This one is for the boys, so if you're not a boy, just keep scrolling. First of all, thank you so much, Paul Shea, for your comment. He asked, can you please give advice for the shy boys out there? Being shy is not necessarily a bad quality. However, it can make it a little difficult to meet new girls. Instead of working on not being shy, work on being outgoing. In order to be more outgoing, you don't actually have to feel outgoing. You just have to act it. Ask yourself, how would the outgoing version of myself act in this situation? And whatever your gut says, do it. It's actually quite that simple. If your goal is to be less shy around girls, my advice would be to practice it in other areas first, to build up your confidence. In scenarios where your parents would usually do the talking, how about you try it? Do little things like that. This will build up your confidence, and eventually it'll work with girls too.
When you see a girl that you're interested in, simply go talk to her, say, hey, how's it going? And just be genuine and authentic with your energy. If she gives you a look or a vibe of like, why the fuck would you come talk to me? Just be respectful, walk away, say have a good night, and just smile, laugh it off. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with her. If you get a very negative and guarded and repulsive vibe like that, ask yourself, no matter how attractive she is, do I even want that? Like, get the fuck out of there and find the girls who are going to receive you with warmth.
Hey, I'm a 30-year-old male from Europe. I'm an engineer with a successful career. My home is mine. It is valued at $750,000 USD. It worked out. Cash is good. So that's a fantastic beginning, right? A house is worth almost $1 million if you can pay it off by the time you're 30. You're already off to a good start. I start exercising, and things are getting better. And I practice martial arts. I've been doing karate for 3 years. I've been in a 7-year relationship rut. And he's 30. His dry spell began when he was 23. That is not ideal. I completely understand your frustration. So let's investigate. I don't have any friends either. There's still more bad news. If you want ladies in your life, you must have social proof. It's always going to be a problem if you don't have other males in your life that you can do cool things with. If you practice martial arts and exercise, why don't you make friends with these guys? You should have buddies in real life. After a session, go out, get a drink or something to eat, and find out whether the two of you have any common interests. Let's proceed nonetheless. He, therefore, spent the previous 7 years in what he has described as social seclusion. I only ever had one relationship, and she was with me for 4 years. Interesting. Okay, a high school met-up night is the only exception. Therefore, I assume that each notch counts as 2. I grew up with 2 adamant feminists. The worldview that feminism had implanted in my mind collided with reality when I started dating my first girlfriend in college, and it crushed me. 3 attempts to end myself and severe clinical depression. I, therefore, dedicated the past 7 years to improving myself and advancing my job. If I'm being completely honest, it doesn't sound like you advance much. You went about it the incorrect way if you spent 7 years working on yourself, and little has changed, and you're still having bad encounters with women. That is much I can tell you right now, so let's resolve this. Recently, I made the difficult decision to start dating once more. You don't hang out with any guys. Okay, so you don't have any girlfriends. I met a female a month ago at work, and we both showed interest in one another. Nothing took place. I resisted making a move since I wouldn't date someone from the office to safeguard my job. Generally. By the way, it's a good idea to avoid dipping your pen in company. Incorporated things change, and so did how I acted around her. I thought you declared that you wouldn't date someone from your workplace. I started to ignore her in a way that was obvious that I was interested in her. I ceased to be the guy she first became interested in. This eliminated all of her interest in me. She is currently attempting to understand why men love to complicate their lives. Man, I know I've mentioned this before, right? She is now attempting to make me into an orbiter by provoking my jealousy and leading me to believe that we might get romantically involved. Additionally, by insulting me, making light of how pathetic I am, and making me angry. Wow, not a good beginning. Here are my questions. How can I behave normally around her and stop letting her influence me? I have to interact with her every day for work-related reasons, and I don't want people to think I'm crazy because of how I act around her. I don't want to risk my professional future. I don't have a dating life. What should I do? How should I go about reconstructing it? Any traps or perils to watch out for? Let's continue. There is a sequel, so let's simply read it from beginning to end first. Feedback. I believe it's messed up in the head because of the way my mother raised me. He is therefore claiming to be mentally messed up. My dad was home, yet he stood by and let it all happen. What occurs when a family lacks a strong, dominant male role model? It has evolved in this manner. It appears that she is simply drawn to me and is not genuinely attempting to turn me into an orbiter. She took action. She repeatedly attempted to enter my personal space while we were alone, but I resisted allowing her to go too close. See, this is the thing about guys that I don't get. You desire intimate relations with ladies. You genuinely want to have relations with ladies. You advise a woman to get out of her personal space when she advances into it. Be consistent with that if you want to be intimate. Make out with her. Escalate. Or not at all. Take it outside of the workplace, of course. However, you get the impression that you're lamenting the fact that you haven't had any positive interactions with women. You push a woman out of your space when she approaches. She made other attempts, and each time I made sure to express my disinterest. The guy has won. I'll say it again. The guy wants to be with her. He always responds, "I'm not interested in her," when she makes indications and declarations of interest and enters his space. What? Why would you carry out that? She stopped pursuing me, so she must have understood. Duh, of course. She will eventually give up. Women have an abundance of options. Although she is still plainly affected and not indifferent, even average-looking ladies have guys throwing themselves at her, which makes me believe I still have a shot. Oh, what a hassle. Justify my misery right there, please, because even though I know it's better if nothing occurs, I feel like a tremendous chance has been lost. And I never stop thinking about her. I'm going to approach her because I can't help myself. I'm at a loss on what to do and believe I'm losing my mind. I still have the same two concerns. Why do you guys do this to yourselves? Man, I just don't get it. You don't give off any signs that you're making any sort of approach toward ladies. If you want to have a better dating life with women, start dating them. In truth, ladies are approaching you and you're pushing them. In hockey, you want to be able to score goals. You must enter the ice and participate in the contest. The game isn't even being played by you. You believe that random women from outside contexts will knock on your door and help you score goals. I'm sorry, sir, but I like you. Can I enter your home and carry out the task? It doesn't take place. That's not how it works. I'm not sure what you're anticipating, to be honest. You need to approach a woman, show her that you're interested in her, and then act as though you're a guy who deserves her time, interest, and intimacy. It's so strange to me that you're not doing any of those things, but it's not entirely unexpected given that you were brought up by two strong feminists, as you say, and that this greatly irritates men. I've worked with a ton of guys who have been. Their entire worldview and philosophical framework are equally flawed, as is their entire set of beliefs. What you do in your free time is unknown to me. You're not hanging out with guys on it. You should spend time with them. You must surround yourself with men who strive for perfection, regardless of what it is. You enjoy learning combat sports, participating in combat sports training, and watching motocross. You desire weightlifting. Do something that enables competition and something challenging that you are familiar with. Women appreciate and admire guys who take on challenging tasks. They are making a crater in the cosmos. Probably the only reason this girl is contacting you at work is because of something you do there that she finds significant, admires, and respects. As a result, she is responding by wanting to be intimate with you. Since you're being honest, the reason is probably that you strive for greatness in your work, and it nearly sounds like she's throwing herself at you. It doesn't seem to be subtle, if you know what I mean. It strikes me as being pretty apparent, and if we're being honest, for a guy who doesn't have much experience with women and is picking up on obvious signs, they're probably more obvious than what the typical guy would encounter. Get out of your brain to find a solution to your issue. Clear your path. Go out with the girl who is making advances toward you. Nothing else is happening in your universe besides this, so long as she isn't your immediate subordinate. That must not be done. The ideal situation would be for her to not be a direct report, for you to collaborate, or for her to be on the same level as you in other areas. Man, just take her out on a date. Nothing should be done in the office. According to what I understand from the terminology you're using, it would be more than consensual. Therefore, it isn't even like you are pursuing her. She's running after you. Man, move along. Your goal is to score. I'll repeat it for you guys. In a hockey game, do you want to score goals? Women won't rush you. Instead, you need to put on your gear, fasten your skates, and get on the ice and start shooting at the goal. They won't knock on your door to demand something, and anticipating that you will leap on their bones and give them what they want. You are in such an environment. Man, you're a plugged-in beta. You need to update these false assumptions you hold. Stop making your life more difficult and explain why you do it. Get to work and without a doubt, get on the goal with your gear on. Get on the goal, get on the ice with your gear on, and start taking some. Just start attacking the goaltender, guy, and get your head out of the clouds. Leave your path behind. Cut the cord on that feminist belief that isn't helping you, and turn on the unplugged alpha attitude, which will help you achieve your life's goals.